Happy Tuesday, Angus here at the Bureau of Meteorology. This is the National Weather Forecast. We're going to take a look at Wednesday's weather around the country. And we've still got our biggest weather system out in the west. Quite a deep low just glancing by the very far southwest, but that's spinning some bands of showers and more thunderstorms across much of the state, even all the way up to the Pilbara and down to the Eucla coastline. On the eastern side of the country, not a lot of rain. And one thing which is actually quite hard to see on this map, but we are going to see some cold air getting dragged across these eastern states, so some chilly conditions for much of the rest of the week. In Queensland it is dry almost everywhere, a couple of exceptions way up here around the Torres Strait Islands and the far northern tip of the peninsula, and a few showers possible around the southern border ranges, the Darling Downs, and even out towards the southeast coast around the Gold Coast in particular. Between those areas it is going to be a fine day, but we could see some cooler winds kick in, particularly towards the evening, so perhaps a chilly night ahead. A cold change is going to zip up the east coast of New South Wales during Wednesday, creating quite chilly, windy conditions along the coast and bringing a few showers and even the chance of a thunderstorm to the coastal fringe all the way from the Illawarra coast up to the Northern Rivers coast, and that of course does include Sydney. It really is going to be a coastal phenomenon though. If you live more than 10 or 20 kilometres inland, very little chance you'll see any of that rainfall. Further to the west, on the other side of the mountains, not going to notice the effects of the cold change, but certainly will feel some cooler temperatures as we see the minimum temperatures down into the low single digits and the maxes in the mid-teens. The showers which lingered across Victoria through most of Tuesday will clear up on Wednesday morning. So there's a chance of a spot of early rain in Melbourne or across Gippsland, but that's going to clear up by around about lunchtime. Then dry across the state for the second half of the day, but the temperatures, fairly modest. We're low single digits overnight. We're talking mid-teens during the day. Because it's quite calm, it might feel mild if you're standing in the sunshine, but as soon as that sun sets, those temperatures are really going to dip quickly. And it's a similar idea down here as well. Quite a cool day, cool morning. Temperatures during the day not especially warm either, between 10 and 13 degrees, and then cooling off really quickly again after the sun goes down. Partly to mostly cloudy across Hobart, but as you go further north towards the northern coast, we should see a bit more sunshine throughout the course of the day. Frost possible here through the morning from about the Murraylands or the Riverlands down to Mount Gambier, so it's really across the southeast where that could occur. It's going to be a dry and predominantly clear day across South Australia. The wind is shifting around to the north, but it does remain very, very light, and like other places in the south, a cool night lies ahead. There will be quite a lot of rain across Western Australia again on Wednesday, in particular the southwest coast from Geraldton down to Albany, where showers and the chance of thunderstorms persist through the morning into the afternoon. It might just dial back a touch in the evening. That does include across Perth through the city there. They could certainly see another storm on Wednesday. A few useful showers possible through inland parts, but by far the most rain will be out on the west coast. As we look further to the east, we see a broken band of rain that goes all the way from Eucla up to about Karratha, so it's very extensive, although it's fairly patchy, so we won't see particularly large totals through there. Maybe in the morning a storm is possible, but it weakens away after that. And across the north, the dry southeast surge continues, so expect very little change in the forecast here over the coming days. It is going to be clear without the temperatures budging much at all. The only exception, way out here in the west, Port Hedland could see some of that rain moving in through the evening hours, then a wet night lies ahead. Broome, though, a little further to the northeast, is avoiding the rain for the time being. To see what the rest of the week or the weekend has in store, you can find your forecast through the Bureau's website and app. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day.